If you, DJ with DJ Pro and streaming services, watch this video till the end to become an expert. A lot of people have asked me questions on my previous streaming service videos, and that is, how do you download the songs from the streaming service to my iPad, so if I don't have service I could still play the music and still get into my playlist from the streaming service? Well, the answer is simply, you really can't. Beatport has an offline locker where it's very expensive and you only get like 50 or 100 songs depending on which plan you choose, and that won't be enough to DJ even the shortest party ever. So I found some tips. I figured some things out the hard way on how to always make sure that you have service, so you could use your streaming service that you have, and you have internet, and you don't have to worry about not being able to load the song. Because if you get booked to a gig and you have all these playlists ready for the gig, and then you get there and all these songs are on streaming services, and you're in a dead zone and there's no signal, no Wi-Fi, nothing, then it's completely useless. And then now there's a party with no music, and you weren't prepared with music on your iPad without the internet, so you're screwed. And it's really embarrassing, and I'm going to show you how to avoid that. One of the things that you could do, which I figured out when I first started using Spotify, when they still had the integration with DJ Pro, is I got cellular data on my iPad. So on my phone, I have unlimited data on my phone, and then for an extra $15 a month, I pay and I have service pretty much anywhere that you have cell phone service. So I did my grandma's 80th birthday party last weekend, and I brought my iPad, and there was no worry at all. I had full service, and I could just load the songs, and it was lightning fast. And it's definitely worth the money, because if you're doing gigs, you get paid a couple $100 or whatever for one gig, and you're only paying $15 a month for service. And then you could use it if you want to watch movies, or if you're on the road or something. Your iPad always has service. So that is one of the things you could do if you're willing to spend the monthly money. Another thing you could do is, there's wireless hotspots, like if you have Optimum or Xfinity. Find out where these wireless hotspots are, and usually they only work outdoors. So if you're doing an outdoor party or like a barbecue or a party at a park, maybe you could tap into one of these Wi-Fi hotspots. So maybe go drive past the place and then see if you could connect to any Wi-Fi. Maybe there's a restaurant and you could connect to their Wi-Fi. Also, when you get booked to do a gig, you could call the place and ask them, hey, I'm doing a DJ gig here. Do you guys have Wi-Fi? So, and if the restaurant has Wi-Fi, and they'll say, yeah, just log into the guest Wi-Fi. Now you have full Wi-Fi, full service internet connection while you DJ, and you already knew it in advance, so it was one less thing that you had to worry about. Another thing you could do is you could use your cell phone as a mobile hotspot. So everybody has cellular data on their phone, so if you have service on your phone, then you could use your phone as a mobile hotspot, and you could log on to your phone's service through your iPad and then use it as the hotspot. Just as long, make sure that your phone actually has service. So always with DJing, always make sure you do your homework the best that you can in advance. So let's say we got booked today, we got an email, we're booked to do a gig at the bowling alley on Main Street in 2 weeks. So what you could do is you could go on down to the bowling alley, bring your phone, bring your iPad, and see if you could actually load a song. Try to test out loading a song, see if it loads up, make sure it's fast, make sure it's not buffering or waiting to load, and then that's how you could do it. So whether you're using the mobile hotspot idea, and if you're doing the mobile hotspot idea, make sure you have a charger for both your iPad and your phone, because if you're using your phone as a mobile charger, a mobile hotspot, it only works when it has power. So make sure that your phone's charged, make sure that your iPad's fully charged. So either way, whether you paid for the extra service like I do, and you have internet, you have mobile internet 5G or 4G on your iPad or you're using the mobile hotspot, you could just go to the place that you're doing the gig and make sure it works. Now that's one thing you could cross off the list, one less worry that you have to worry about every time that you DJ at that bowling alley or wherever it is that you're going to DJ. Now let's say you're not gonna rely on that, and you want to make sure that you're gonna have Wi-Fi. Then call them up or go there and actually log on to their Wi-Fi, make sure the password they give you works, make sure everything works, and load up a couple songs, mix some songs together. Make sure that you're not gonna end up without any music, because that's the worst thing, and that's what we're trying to avoid, is showing up there, having all your speakers, having all your controllers, having everything else that you need, but no music. It's one of the worst feelings ever. So what happens if you did all this homework and you were prepared, you made sure you had service, but in the middle of your set something happens and the service cuts out, or it's taking a long time to load and it won't load? Now, how are you going to avoid not having any music at all? Well, there's a couple of things that you can do. One of them is to have music on your iPad. So I in my previous videos, I taught you guys how to DJ with only music that is on the device, native on the device. So you guys should always have some backup playlist over here in this music section that is on your iPad. So I would recommend having at least 100 songs. Have 100 songs that someone's, like Party Rockers and Yeah by Usher, and just songs that every DJ should have. So that if you are DJing and something happens and you don't have Wi-Fi, that you can, at least, it might not be the best set, it might not be the best music for the people that's there, because you don't have all the music in the world like you would with your streaming service. But never show up to do any gig that you're getting paid for, or even for free, without at least 100 songs on your iPad. And then make sure that these songs are put into playlist and ready to be used as a backup. So always have a backup plan. And then don't ever go to a gig with only one device for the music. So you go to the gig and you plan on playing music with a streaming service through your iPad, and then maybe you do have service and everything's working well with the service, but your iPad freezes, your iPad does a restart, your iPad dies, and then the music ends. Always have either Spotify or another way to play even the YouTube song ready, and either have your phone connected to Bluetooth if the speakers that you're using will allow you to have a Bluetooth connection as well as the connection that your controller's using. Or you could get a special adapter that you could plug into the back of your speakers or mixers, or even some controllers have a port where you could plug in an auxiliary device. And then now, if your iPad crashes, anything happens, you could just boom, press play, and you didn't do a tomato. So if you guys like learning about DJing with streaming services and DJing with the iPad and the future of DJing, subscribe to this channel and give this video a like. I make videos about DJing with the iPad several times a week.